Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
Because if you are,
We want to ask you something. I realize that you're an adult,
and I am just a child,
but we want to know, will you really look me in the eye
and tell me that God,
Jehovah, the God of the Bible,
will not love us anymore?
if we get a life-saving blood transfusion? Are you 100% certain that's what the Bible teaches? Are you willing to bet your life on it? Are you so certain that you are willing to bet my life, a helpless child's life, on it?
You're an adult,
And we're just kids.
we look up to you, we depend on you.
To guide me, to teach me, to look out for me, and to protect us from those who would cause harm.
Now I know that chances are
That neither you nor your children or loved ones have ever needed a life-saving blood transfusion. But somebody's loved one has.
and somebody's child has.
And even if it wasn't you who directly made the decision to let that loved one or child die, you did contribute in a very real way to their death.
A very real way.
By supporting the organization that created this unbiblical policy. You contributed by preaching this organization as the trusted truth. You contributed by donating money that prints the materials that spread these myths.
You contributed by standing silent as children,
And mothers and fathers
and sons and daughters.
needlessly perish one by one.
We have no voice.
Where are you?
Why won't you protect us?
How will you feel if or when the society once again changes their position on this issue?
They have already done it.
Or what will you do when the society realizes that eating blood and blood transfusions are two totally separate things? Are you old enough to remember when they called organ transplants cannibalism? Because they thought that getting a donor organ was the same thing as eating an organ? Well, a blood transfusion is no more eating blood than a heart transplant was eating a heart. When this policy changes, will you be able to sleep at night, knowing that you supported and preached a false doctrine that costs the lives of so many?
Will you?
Please know that this isn't just a mistake. It's blood guilt.
It's blood guilt.
Blood guilt would be an awful thing to have to live with.
And I know in rare cases taking blood can be dangerous, but so can playing at the playground, riding my bike, running, or walking down the stairs. But you allow me to do those things every day. It's true that there are risks involved in accepting blood, but we also know that there are far more risks in not accepting blood.
So what will you do?
Yeah, what will you do?
Will you look me in the eye and tell me that God doesn't love me?
Will you gamble with my life?
Will you stand in silence as I needlessly perish? Will you support the organization and participate in the preaching work that leads to death for so many?
Or will you stand up for the helpless, give voices to the voiceless? Will you protect those who need protecting?
Will you love us enough to stand up for what's right?